Hey, what do you know? Here we go. Been a second. All right, some changes to announce. Welcome to another Miss It Tennis hitting sesh. I am Disquench. We are going to talk about U.S. tennis. So let's get into it. Let's do some housekeeping. Ooh, why are you not showing up the way you're supposed to? Give me 1 second here. There it is. Okay. So now listen, so this whole year, 2025, is really just try to figure out the right cadence. We are now in to the spring session, towards the end of it, this first week of Madrid. This is the spring swing, this is the clay season, right? Monte Carlo through the French. This is actually a really exciting part of the season. Um, So now we've got the two 1000s, both WCA and ATP, men and women. They have thousands. So the biggest tournaments possible without being Grand Slams. Two in a row, two weekers, men and women. Similar to the Indian Wells in Miami double, Sunshine double that's in US. Now we're in Europe, of course, for this clay season. Madrid, Rome, and we end up at Roland Garros in France, in Paris. So, what does that mean? Also, we had this super complicated, like, we're going to switch around all the time and figure out what's the right cadence per thing. But that was just, it was wearing on me. So right now we have to scale back to the minimum amount that can keep this thing going forward. And that is going to be Mondays only. So we're going to stick with that for now. And that'll be just mean more stuff is available to talk about. Um, yeah, you'll see. It'll be fine. But anyways, where we're at right now is in this Madrid week one. And if you remember correctly with Indian Wells in Miami, what we have is a situation where they're 2 week long tournaments, but they really start the qualifying tournament at the beginning of week one. So, because we only follow people ranked in the top 20, I mean, we keep an eye on our honorable mentions as well, but ultimately, because we're focused on them, all of our players are going to have first round buys in any of these tournaments um, that feature a lot of buys. And these next two 1000s are good. All 32 seeded players will have a buy in the first round. I think it's a 96 player tournament, maybe. Yeah, that I think the math works there. So, anyways, we won't really have our people playing until Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So that's something that happens, and so that's one of the reasons why we scaled back. But we also wanted to scale back. We might scale back up because we're trying to do the bare minimum. Like this is just a test. All of 2025 is just to see if we want to keep going. So, what else should we do? We should. I don't know if we should update this. So let's just take a look at our, let's take a look at the good old fashioned matrix and see if anything changed. ADP. Usually I do this beforehand, but Fritz is fourth. Let's see, did they update? This is as of 4/21, so this is as of today, yep. So we might as well put a new entry in there. 4/21, and he's fourth. Tommy Paul. I know Shelton's going to be jumped up a little bit here. Tommy Paul is 12. He's still holding off Shelton just barely. And we'll talk about, so that's good. 12, 13. They both jumped one, but I think they're both now in striking distance of going up higher, right? 30, 31, 32, 32. Ooh, trying to push up ahead of Medi for 10, top 10. That's tall order. Anyways, Tiafo holds at 17. Looks like he goes up one also. Tsitsipas down. Casper Ruud way down. Okay, so Tiafoe's at 17. Fine. And I also think now we can kind of hide these two. We have enough entries. So now we know Q1, and now we're into Q2, and then next week, which they don't always update the rankings in the midweeks of these 1000s. At least they didn't for Indian Wells and Miami. So we might not be updating this again until uh, after um, after Madrid. So yeah. Okay, so that's on the men's side. Let's take a quick look at the WTA rankings. And these are also 421, although they finished, they were running like a day late on one of their tournaments and didn't finish until this morning, our time. I don't know, whatever, but it should be updated with everything. Okay, Sabalenka. Pegula's still holding off Goff, just barely. If Goff would have won one more match, she would have beat Paolini. Then it would have been, and then it's a full 1,000 to Keys. So Pegula, Goff, Keys, 3, 4, 5, just like we're used to. Let's do our new column for today. Get rid of you. 3, 4, 5, and then Navarro and Anisimova. Navarro creeps up one into the top 10, pushes past Rebecca. And Anisimova holds at 16. So 10 and 16. Nothing too exciting, but we're holding. She's holding. That's good. Oh boy, it'll be interesting to see. Can Anisimova overtake Navarro? And then who's going to break away out of these three? Keys, just all that incredible play at the Australian Open. We just really haven't seen much from her since, Makes that huge jump. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I'm glad we went through that exercise. And then we can also hide you two now. And we're set up here. So we got some data tracking back. So this is how it all started. I was just keeping track of how these players were doing over time. So we can go back quite a ways now. Not that that data is not available in other sources, but yeah. First of all, why aren't these all centered? That makes it a little bit nicer. All right, so let's put this away. Let's talk a little bit more. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do Mondays. What I also found is it's hard to watch all the matches, right? First, I started scaling down, keeps the top 40, too much to go. Like, we got to do something that's sustainable. So, and I don't have enough analytical capability as either a teacher coach of tennis, I'm just a shitty amateur player, um, nor as like an analyst of the game. So um, this year is really just about putting in the time, starting to understand these players and their personalities better, and so that I might have some feedback that's more interesting. I mean, it is kind of understanding the rivalries and following their socials, getting to know a little bit more in that regard is kind of fun. So uh, we will definitely improve content wise at some point in time. Anyways, so that's that. The only other thing we should probably take a quick look at is Ben Shelton's Munich results. You see, he went pretty far here. Those were his last 5 matches. So um, he was number 2 seed. Let's just go pull it up. Let's go, not to active tournaments. Let's go to season, and we're going to Munich. Should be right around here. All right, so there's the Barcelona Open on clay, and then the BMW Open on clay. This is the one right here. So Zverev was the 1 seed, and he did his thing. He played. He actually looked great. Like I watched that Zverev versus Shelton match. Shelton did his thing. He was the 2, and he rolled up here. Uh, was there some more USAs in there? USA players kind of play a little bit light here, then they go over for these next 2 thousands and Madrid. So here's, if we look at the schedule here, right? We just had these here, and then there's the soft part here. Monte Carlo, I think everybody goes to play it, but it's just like an in and out, like because otherwise you're potentially in Europe from the beginning of April to middle of July. So what people do is they just run in and out and do shitty in that Monte Carlo tournament. That shouldn't even be a major. Like they need to get rid of that fucking thing. And then they would have a 3 week gap. Like you could put that BGK Cup quaddles here, and they would have a 3 week gap, and they could do something different, move this up or something. Interesting. Um, anyways, so a lot of them just kind of really go over for Madrid now, and they're really focused on like these next 6 7 weeks in Europe. Two majors and then the French clay season. Um, let's see. I don't think there's anything we want to look at or talk about here. But what he did was he just played with his awesome fucking serve, and until he met Zverev, he was able to overpower everybody. I didn't watch all the matches, but yeah, so that was cool. Who else was in action? Coco Gauff and right. So let's take a quick look over here. Let's go back. So there was these Billie Jean King Cup qualifiers. We should talk about that for a second, actually. Let's go and so basically what I've learned so far by keeping track of these um, I think you have to put in qualifiers. Billie Jean King Cup. Let's get to 2025. Blah 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 blah. Oh my god. There we go. So we're here. Okay, so what I learned is that one's called the play. That's the playoffs that's coming up. Oh no, that's the playoffs for to get into next year's. So these are the people that are in because yeah, we beat Slovakia and Denmark, and we beat them pretty. Looks like we lost a match here and there. So United States 2-0, 5-1, 10-2. TMS group. So we were in Group C with Slovakia and Denmark ties. We beat Slovakia and we beat Denmark 2-0 against those two matches. 5-1. And then they also count sets. So there's some weird little tiebreaker. One of each group of three is the host. And so it was Slovakia uh, was hosting, but we just pretty much rolled in. We didn't even do it with there it is. That's what I was trying to get to. We didn't do it with our best players at all. We brought Para and Haley Baptiste. I mean, people down there at 60th, 70th ranked because our competition was weak sauce pretty much. So yeah, Baptiste, Bernardo, Para, and then they're probably a solid doubles team. But Baptiste, Para, and then we retired because we already knew we had it in hand, and that's kind of silly. Whatever. But basically, what I found out, and this happens on Davis Cup also. In Davis Cup in each year, there's like two qualifying rounds and then the finals. And for the WTA, fewer good teams. There's only needs to be one qualifying round and then the finals. And remember, like you now, everybody out is already playing in some playoffs to get into next year's like real tournament. But yeah, we walk through all these easy rounds. We're one of the teams that's so good that we're always going to be um, way too overpowered at this level of this tournament. So we walk through, and that means we qualified. So it looks like these six teams plus the team that hosts, which I think is no, last year's winners were Italy, and then Great Britain must be the host. TH. Defending champion Italy. Host nation China. China. Why is their seeds. And they're waiting for these seeds to finish out here. So there must be something about that, because they don't know how to do it. But here's the 8 teams that have made the finals now, including us: Ukraine, Italy, Japan, Ukraine. You know what we're gonna do? Let's open up ESPN's rankings because they've got easy little flags to follow. I do believe. Yes. Okay. So, like, okay, Japan. Who's Japan got? They don't have anybody that high. Okay, no, Naomi Osaka and Ujima ranked about 55th in the world. And then some Heo Ito about 100th. And between those 3 players, they can certainly put a Shibahara. They can put a decent doubles team out there, but certainly not OP. United States, we know what our roster can look like. Italy is good. Paolini at 6. And ooh, they can't match up after Paolini with much, huh? There we go. Lucia Bronzetti, 56th. Cacciaretto, solid. Not OP. They're the defending champion, though. Ukraine has Ostapenko. And they've always got some players. It's Velina. Oh, it's not Ostapenko. Is she Belarusian? Latvian. So it's Velina. Kostic. Yastremska. Okay, they can throw some. They can throw some. Solid, solid again. Not OP. I mean, based on numbers on paper, out of these 4, we have the strongest squad. Spain and Great Britain. What we got here? Let's start with Spain. Bedosa. Not much else. Minero. Now we're all the way down to 70. Great Britain is going to have Bolter and what's her name? Their big star, Raducanu. Katie Bolter, Raducanu, Cartal, and then they got some backup pieces, I'm sure. I can't believe Australia's not. All right, Kazakhstan and China. China is Qinwen Zhen. Actually, I do know how to pronounce her name. It's Zhen Xinhuan. I think that's right. So let's do that first. So she's good. So this is another Paulini situation. One super strong, and then Xinyu. It's tricky. Yu Wing Yafan. So some backups, and then Kazakhstan, which had some Russians playing under their flag, possibly. Where's we're backing off from originally? And Puniseva. We should see if they're originally Russian playing on our Kazakhstan flag. Because I don't want to be saying that if Russian born Kazakhstani professional tennis player. So I wonder if it was just better for her career not to be like tie herself to Russia because yeah, I mean most of these Russians are playing under no flag at the various tournaments. That was just Wimbledon champion. She's a Wimbledon champion. Okay, it doesn't look like he's gonna say it. So let's see if the same thing happened with this other one. Is Putin Putin Seva based on the name Seva Putin T Seva T Putin T Seva, Russian born Kazakhstani. So yeah, I think it is more about born in Moscow, resides in Boca Raton, Florida, so they don't fucking live in Russia. Moved to Paris when she was like 10, 11, winning an under 14 event. So since the beginning of 2012, she has driven. So that's a long time ago. So maybe even way back then. Look at the pipes on her. They're like, no. So it's probably just not good for you professionally to kind of marry yourself up to Russia. Go figure. All right, so that's the field for Billie Jean King Cup, and that won't happen now until the end, finals, at the end of September. So we don't even have to worry about that. Let's just put that off. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Ben Shelton played good. No other USA's. Duran didn't get far. Leonard Tien didn't get far. And that's it for that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other draws that may have had. Yes. Okay, let's take a look at these two draws also because they featured some Americans. Sabalenka rolled, and then she met Ostapenko, who's playing like a total badass. I like her. So Navarro, one win, and then buzzsaw Ostapenko. Pego, couple wins, and then Coco Golf ended up playing Polini, so she had a couple wins. At least one, anyways. And then, yeah, because so if you get by in one of these tournaments, you only play once. You only get one win, and you're in the third round. So nothing to write home about. But these are people that just wanted to get over there and get ready for this upcoming swing here. And then what we will do is we will take a look at who Ethan Quinn qualified in, got crushed by Alcaraz. Corda one win against Arnoldi, and then Tsitsipas gets him. Arthur Fils still playing really good tennis, although Carlos Alcaraz got him in the end. And Holger Rune, who's also playing good tennis. I always get him and Rude confused because they both start with RU, and they're both like, one's Denmark, one's Norway. But Rune is the younger, batter ass one. And not as much of a sourpuss, I think. I think it's Rude who's rude, actually. All right. USA Tiafo, just nothing. So, there's a lot of decent storylines here because if you come back to the Matrix, Tiafoe's just trying to hold on. Paul has to prove, like, he's got to learn how to grind down into the top 10. He can't. He hasn't proven that he can grind into the top 10 yet. Fitz can't stay up there like it was a big U.S. Open, but he's held it, but he's been losing tracking points. So, four good storylines here. I mean, Tiafo, if he has a shitty clay season, he's going to be on the edge of. We would have to remove him from our rankings. Women, Navarro, she seems to be like she's going to float out at about 11, 12, and she's going to be kind of like the female version of Tommy Paul. Can she really break into the top 10 and stay there? I don't think so. And it's a moment, how far can she climb back up? And then, of course, our big three and who's going to separate themselves. So all fun stuff there, too. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. We talked about him. Usually I go over here to see if this is working and I'm live. Yes, I am. So all fun. Okay, that's cool. That's working. I don't think we need any of that. So let's just go ahead and wrap it up here. We ended up talking a half hour with nothing to say. Only Mondays going forward. And then we're going to see how that cadence works. Like, somehow we probably want to capture more the energy of the second week of Grand Slams. Do we just go daily during the slams? How fucking cool would that be? Well, we're going to get our chance to find out. So we are going to do M star. We don't know. We might need to do more than one day. But do we do daily then just for the second week? If we're going to do the second week, do we do the first week? Anyways, all right. That's it. You guys don't talk hear about that anymore. So let's just go back over here. And thanks for participating. I know not too many people watch these, and that's fine because obviously I am just getting my feet grounded, and this is a long play. So if you did happen to find it and you are for some reason are watching it here to the very end, please give me a like and a subscribe. Other than that, let's just pick up these balls and get out of here. Thanks again.